Every Pokemon that has the ability Pressure has always been clowned on ever since the Pokemon games introduced abilities. Unfortunately, the Pokemon most important to the lore face this repercussion. This includes Gen 1's poster boy, Mewtwo, the Gen 2 birds, the two parts of the Holy Trinity plus Satan, and don't forget the Dragonless Husk and the weird Energy Dragon. All these Pokemon are not the only ones with Pressure as their ability, by the way. I specifically mentioned these because they are classified as a restricted Pokemon by competitive means, which are very powerful Pokemon that can't be used until a certain format in a game's lifetime is reached. This usually starts with only one restricted Pokemon allowed, and increases to two when the game reaches its final competitive format. If I would clarify what makes these Pokemon powerful, I won't. That's just the explanation the Pokemon Company gives. For everyone else, these Pokemon are just the legendaries you would see on the box art when picking which version of the game to buy, hence why they're named box art legendaries by the fanbase. Now you know why they're banned until a certain time period passes. I won't stray too far off, but these don't include mythical Pokemon introduced in their respective generation. They've always been and always will be banned from competitive use. Back to the point. What makes Pressure a bad ability? Well, let's see what the text says. Pressure makes any attack targeted at the ability bearer, regardless of whether it hits, use 2 PP instead of 1. PP is the name of the number of available uses for a certain move. It stands for power points. So, on the surface, this ability seems really great. Any move used against you will become unusable twice as fast. It is great, but when you look at the restricted Pokemon that have it as their only ability and compare it to others, they are not desirable thanks to having Pressure. For example, would you rather have an electric dragon bike that deals insane amounts of damage with its ability, or a rainbow bird that just scares you into stressing you out? It's quite easy to see who wins here, unless you're the guy I know who loves using bird Pokemon, Bird Up. All these Pokemon are useless, thanks to this one fact. Sure, some of them have subpar stats that make other box art legendaries way better, but at the end of the day, Pressure is the reason why they're clowned on. Eternatus never got to see the light of day in Sword and Shield due to this. So far, I've been talking crap about restricted Pokemon with Pressure. You might be asking, where's he going with all this? I'm transitioning to just that. Gen 8 Sword and Shield introduced a Pokemon that goes against one of the main mechanics of the game. You all might know what it is. A very goofy bear by the name of Urshifu. This Pokemon's ability is game-changing. Unseen Fist makes all moves, as long as they are contact moves, used by the bearer, see what I did there, ignore Protect. This means no matter what your opponent does to avoid damage, it will inevitably not work. Paired with the signature moves both Urshifu forms have, this Pokemon changed everything. I'm here to say that Urshifu wasn't the one that did this first. In fact, it was good old Mewtwo back in 1995 who did. You see, PP is the most important mechanic in all of Pokemon. Protect comes in importance move-wise, but in terms of performance and gameplay, PP decides if you can or cannot do something. This is what makes Pressure a very powerful ability. Being able to make the game unplayable is very broken, and I would even say it's the most broken thing Pokemon has ever done. Imagine this scenario. You're up against a person who's using a Pokemon known for spamming one move, Miraidon. You, being the all-time Giga Chad, have your restricted Pokemon, Mewtwo, out on the field turn 1. You know Miraidon will target Mewtwo with Electro Drift, so you take all the necessary precautions to decrease the damage you take. At the end of that turn, Electro Drift changes from 5 PP to 3. If your opponent doesn't budge and keeps using it, they will only have 2 turns of meaningful usage left on that move. Technically 1 if you protect and redirect. Soon, your opponent's most powerful move is gone, rendering their restricted unusable for the rest of the match. Sure, it could use anything else, but as long as they attempt to attack Mewtwo, they're digging their own grave. This is what Pokemon with Pressure set out to do. They slowly make your opponent freak out until their only move is Struggle, provided you make it that far. That's all I have to say about why the ability is good. However, I know that you, dear viewer, may also be asking yourself, isn't Unseen Fist more better in terms of reaching its goal immediately? I'm going to answer that with a question. Would you rather make the game less enjoyable? Or would you rather give your opponent a fighting chance while still doing something meaningful? I'm gonna leave it at that. In any case, I personally won't use any Pokemon with pressure as much as I like the ability. I can't handle too much of the mechanics to make it work, which includes specific matchups. I do use a restricted Pokemon that doesn't immediately nuke the opponent when it's sent out. Terrapagos. That's my king. Might make a video on him soon, but I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. This video was inspired because one of my friends, Anders, brought Mewtwo to a local recently and did very well. He got second. But come on, he was the real winner with his performance. Check out his YouTube channel down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I know the upload schedule has been rough, but as time goes on, I have more opportunities opened up for me. I'll see you all in the next one.